Another Bengals training camp practice in the books. Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien. Welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk, joined by the one, the only Tony Pike of Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. You can listen to Tony every single weekday on Cincy 360, noon to 3. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. All right, let's get into it.
Yes.
Crazy day today, practice-wise. 1, it was a short practice. 2, it's the best weather we've had of training camp. 3, the defense won again. We will get to the defense coming up in a bit, but you're a former quarterback. Mm-hmm. You've watched Joe Burrow virtually every day of training camp. I feel like you've missed a couple. I've been here every day. You're a slacker. I'm not. But you were here today. You've been here for most of camp. And you observed some discomfort, some unique actions from number 9, even though he did participate in today's practice.
Yeah, I mean, discomfort is speculating, but unique is certainly not, because it's not something we've ever seen really from Joe Burrow. I would start with the fact that if he was physically bad, he wouldn't be out here practicing. Like, you have time to give Joe Burrow off days, but you know, if you go back to a week from where we are today, he threw 2 interceptions last Monday. Going into Monday, he had done 1 all camp. So a little bit of a peculiar day last Monday. Tuesday was the day where I thought visibly he just looked frustrated. Nothing looked normal from what he did. And you said, okay, now they're going to go to Chicago. Just wait. He's going to let all this build-up frustration go, and you're going to hear great reports. And by all accounts, Thursday was a struggle. So, you know, okay, coming today, multiple days off, fresh week. The first team setting, we're standing next to each other, he pulls out a glove from, you know, the back of his pants, and he puts the glove on. He takes the glove off, he puts the glove on. He's messing with it constantly. But for me, it's what's happening in between every rep. And he's clenching his fist seemingly every time he's doing something. Whether that is waiting for a shotgun snap, whether that is standing behind while the second offense is going. He didn't really push the ball down the field at all today. It was a lot of checkdowns, minus maybe 1 throw to Trent Irwin. It just all seemed weird. We're not seeing as many of the under center looks right now. Everything seems to be at a gun. So I think it's fair to say, without speculating, today looked a lot of different. We haven't seen him work with the glove and not. We haven't seen him clenching the whole time. It certainly was unique on a day where, again, the defense won.
Yeah, and we'll get to the defense. He was under center one time specifically where it was a 4th and inches, and he's thrown to Charlie Jones. Daxell bats it away on 4th down. Defense, again, won the day. We'll get to the defense. You're right, discomfort's strong, but it is unique.
Yes.
And watching it, you pointed it out, and then I started to take some video of it. And we're not trying to sound alarms.
Right. He's practicing, which tells me he's 100%. They wouldn't have him out here practicing if it was. But
it's just clearly, and we've talked about this on the channel all offseason, is Burrow is working through the wrist. It's a very unique wrist injury. And you go back a week, and he struggled, not a week. I don't know if he struggled last Monday, but there were signs of that. There were some ups and downs. Then Tuesday, you're right, worst practice of camp by far. We weren't there in Chicago, but the reports weren't great. And so now you have today. So now what I think, and actually what I know, tomorrow, joint practice against the Colts. I don't anticipate to see Joe Burrow on Saturday night, or on Thursday night, excuse me. And so tomorrow is a huge, huge day, I would say, for Joe Burrow and this Bengals offense.
It's huge. Look, there is no precedent for the injury and the surgery he had. And so you don't know timetables. You don't know range of motion. You don't know on a throw-to-throw basis what he's going through. What we do know is that it's been a subpar, by Joe's standards himself, it's been a subpar week, and there's been frustration. So, yeah, it's a joint practice. It's really the last opportunity for him and the offense to find a way to go forward. And when we'll talk about the defense. T. Higgins didn't go through team drills today. Jamar Chase is still not out here. So you're missing 2 of the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL when you're going through this. So you are going to struggle, and it is good that the defense is winning. But against a different opponent tomorrow, you've got to put the last week behind you, and you've got to start taking steps forward for Joe Burrow and this offense, whose message all camp and going into camp was training camp's got to be different because the start of the season has to be better. That season is inching closer, and they've got a ways to go still.
And Burrow talks about all the reps and the build-up and the plan that they had, and he's been out here every single day but one during the first week. I know a lot of these national reporters say, oh, well, he's not throwing this or that. He's been out here every camp practice throwing except for one so far in camp. So obviously we expect him to be out here tomorrow doing the same. Let's get to the defense because Daxell, 2 pass breakups that I noticed. Geno Stone, a nice stick early in team drills on Chase Brown. This defense feels like it's finding itself here with the regular season 20 days away.
I noticed B.J. Hill multiple times, which is hard when you don't go live. Yeah. B.J. Hill was dominant. You mentioned that 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. It got to a 4th and 1 because they stuffed a run on 3rd and 1. Trey Hendrickson would have had a sack early in practice. Logan Wilson had a chance to intercept a pass from Joe Burrow that he undercut. The secondary played better. They didn't give up a touchdown in team today to the ones. Yep. So, again, I know who's practicing and who's not for the starting offense. This defense was awful last year. This defense is taking huge strides, and I thought today was another positive step forward. The score didn't, I think, articulate how well the defense played early against Chicago, which is another key factor to take out of this. But again, what can they do tomorrow? Indy has some unique weapons. What does that look like against, now not going up against guys you know pretty much the route tree, you know probably some of the signals. What do they look like tomorrow, I think, is going to be a huge gauge, kind of like the joint practice against Chicago was, of how they're progressing with the season so close.
Yeah, I think two guys I'll be watching very closely. I know you will. Dax Hill, DJ Turner. Does Dax have the lead right now? Is it DJ Turner? Because if you look at the depth chart and you take those with a grain of salt, it's DJ. Yeah. You look at the number ones, and it's Dax. Yeah. So it's a curveball by Lou Anarumo. No one knows.
Listen, they moved Dax Hill for a reason because they trusted he could make the switch. Early in camp, it was a struggle. It felt like every positive play of the offense, like, oh, there's Dax getting beat. Now it feels like Dax is starting to find his footing more and more every camp. Where does he have to be? When does he have to be there? I think he and DJ Turner are providing a very good problem for Lou Anarumo in the secondary. And let's not sleep on Josh Newton, who is not going to be corner 2, but is he the fourth corner on this team? He's at a very impressive camp. I like the direction the secondary is going. I like the positive steps that the line has made. And if those two positions can come together, this is a completely different defense we're talking about.
Couple practice notes. Sam Hubbard back at practice today, not in team. Charlie Jones was back in team drills. Like I mentioned, he was the one that Dax Hill batted the pass over on that 4th down. Trent Brown back. Doesn't seem like there's any concern there. Looks like we'll see him tomorrow as well. Make sure you catch Tony Pike every single weekday, noon to 3 on ESPN 1530 in the iHeartRadio app. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and for Tony Pike and Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching. He's so short. Cincinnati Bengals Talk.